The conquest of Adrianople in 1361 was one of the most significant milestones in the early history of the Ottoman Empire. The city, known today as Edirne, became the second capital of the Ottoman Empire, marking a turning point in the empire's expansion into Europe. The success of this campaign was crucial for the Ottomans, as it not only provided them with a strategic base in the heart of the Balkans, but it also solidified the empire's position as a dominant force in southeastern Europe. The conquest was led by Sultan Murad I, who was the son of Orhan I and had already demonstrated military prowess in the early years of his reign. Adrianople, with its strategic location, was a prize that the Ottomans could not ignore. Situated along the important trade routes between Europe and Asia, the city was crucial for controlling access to the rest of the Balkans and the Aegean Sea. At the time, Adrianople was under the control of the Byzantine Empire, and its loss represented another blow to the Byzantines, who were already struggling to maintain their dwindling power in the region. For the Ottomans, securing Adrianople was essential for further expansion into the European heartland. The conquest of Adrianople was not a simple victory. It required careful planning and a series of strategic military moves. Murad I's forces, which included a strong contingent of Janissaries, the elite soldiers of the empire, launched their attack in the early months of 1361. The Ottoman strategy was based on their superior military organization, particularly their ability to quickly mobilize troops and apply pressure on key targets. Murad I's use of artillery and siege tactics made the conquest of Adrianople feasible, especially as the Byzantine forces, though numerous, were not prepared for the modern methods of warfare employed by the Ottomans. The Byzantine defenders, led by the local Byzantine governor, fought hard to protect the city, but they were no match for the Ottomans' determination and military technology. The city eventually fell to the Ottomans, who were able to capitalize on the internal instability within the Byzantine Empire. The fall of Adrianople had immediate consequences for the region, as the Ottomans now controlled a vital city that opened the gates for further conquest in the Balkans. Murad I's decision to make Adrianople the second capital of the Ottoman Empire was a strategic move that would prove to be of immense importance. The city's position allowed the Ottomans to consolidate their power in Europe and launch further military campaigns into the Balkans. Adrianople's proximity to key Byzantine and European territories made it the ideal base for the Ottomans to expand their influence and control over surrounding regions. Additionally, the city was easily defensible, nestled in a strategic location away from the coast, which provided protection from naval attacks while allowing easy access to the Balkans. Making Adrianople the second capital of the empire also symbolized the Ottomans' commitment to becoming a major player in the European political landscape. The city provided the Ottomans with the opportunity to establish a strong military and administrative presence in Europe, facilitating further expansion and consolidation of Ottoman rule in the region. By 1361, the Ottomans had already established a strong presence in Anatolia, and now, with Adrianople under their control, they were poised to challenge the established European powers, including the Byzantine Empire and the Kingdom of Hungary. One of the most significant aspects of the conquest of Adrianople was the impact it had on the Balkans. The fall of Adrianople marked the beginning of the Ottoman Empire's gradual domination of the entire region. After the capture of the city, Murad I and his successors continued to push westward, conquering key cities and regions in the Balkans. The Ottomans quickly began to impose their rule, integrating the local population into the empire through a combination of military pressure and diplomatic alliances. This enabled the Ottomans to expand rapidly, eventually controlling much of southeastern Europe and influencing the broader political and cultural landscape of the region. The Ottomans' success in Adrianople also signaled their growing ability to integrate conquered regions into the broader empire. After the conquest, the city became a major cultural and administrative center, with the Ottomans building mosques, madrasas, and other Islamic institutions to further cement their control. The city's transformation into an Ottoman capital helped promote the spread of Islamic culture and Ottoman governance throughout the Balkans, fostering a sense of unity and shared identity within the empire. In conclusion, the conquest of Adrianople in 1361 marked a critical moment in the early history of the Ottoman Empire. By capturing the strategically important city, Sultan Murad I set the stage for the Ottomans to expand further into Europe, eventually transforming the empire into a powerful force in both the east and west. The decision to make Adrianople the second Ottoman capital helped solidify the Ottomans' position in the Balkans and laid the foundation for their continued expansion into Europe for centuries to come. The city's capture demonstrated the Ottomans' military prowess and strategic foresight, marking the beginning of an era of unparalleled growth and influence in southeastern Europe. The conquest of Adrianople in 1361 was not just a military victory. It marked a fundamental shift in the strategic landscape of the Ottoman Empire. The city of Adrianople became the second capital of the empire, setting the stage for a new phase of Ottoman expansion into Europe. The capture of Adrianople was an essential milestone that transformed the Ottomans from a regional power in Anatolia to a formidable empire straddling both Europe and Asia. The significance of this conquest is multi-layered, ranging from military strategy and governance to its impact on the broader Ottoman-Balkan relations. The fall of Adrianople was especially important in the context of the weakening Byzantine Empire and the fragmentation of Balkan states. Prior to the Ottoman conquest, the Byzantine Empire had already lost much of its territorial holdings in Europe, and its influence in the Balkans had diminished. Adrianople was one of the last strongholds of Byzantine control in the region, and its capture by the Ottomans effectively closed the door on Byzantine dominance in southeastern Europe. With Adrianople under Ottoman control, the Ottomans now had a direct route into the heart of the Balkans, enabling them to exert further pressure on Byzantine territories and neighboring states. Sultan Murad I, who had ascended to the throne in 1362, understood the importance of Adrianople not just as a military target, but as a political and economic prize. The city's strategic location at the crossroads of Europe and Asia provided the Ottomans with a critical base from which they could influence both the European and Asian sides of the Dardanelles Strait. Adrianople was also positioned near key trade routes, and controlling the city allowed the Ottomans to dominate the movement of goods and resources between the Mediterranean and the rest of Europe. The capture of Adrianople also gave the Ottomans control of the surrounding lands, which included fertile agricultural areas, contributing to the empire's economic prosperity. Murad I's decision to make Adrianople the second capital of the Ottoman Empire was a pragmatic one. Not only did it offer a strategic advantage over the Byzantines, but it also provided the Ottomans with a centralized location for governing both their European and Anatolian territories. Adrianople, being well fortified, served as a safe haven for the Sultan and his court, allowing for the further consolidation of power. The city's significance as a political center was soon realized, and the Ottomans began to build key institutions, including mosques, military garrisons, and administrative offices, making it a critical hub for the empire's operations. The conquest of Adrianople also marked the beginning of a more systematic integration of the Balkan region into the Ottoman Empire. Once the city fell, Murad I's army continued to move westward, quickly bringing neighboring territories under Ottoman control. The Balkans, with their mix of Christian kingdoms and principalities, were Strategically important for the Ottomans, not only in terms of military positioning but also for the rich agricultural and mineral resources they provided. The Ottomans understood that in order to maintain control over their new holdings, they needed to integrate local populations into the imperial structure. Murad I's approach to the integration of the Balkan territories was both military and diplomatic. The Ottomans used a combination of force and strategic alliances to subdue local rulers. In many cases, the Ottomans would offer the local nobility a degree of autonomy in exchange for loyalty to the Sultan. This system allowed the Ottomans to avoid prolonged military conflicts while maintaining a firm grip on their newly conquered lands. The millet system, which allowed religious communities to govern themselves, became a key tool in managing the diverse populations in the Balkans. By offering religious freedom to Christian communities, the Ottomans gained the cooperation of local populations while preserving the integrity of the empire. Additionally, the Ottoman military system, particularly the elite Janissary corps, played a crucial role in the conquest and subsequent consolidation of Adrianople. The Janissaries, who had been created under Sultan Murad I and his father Orhan I, were an integral part of the Ottoman army. These elite soldiers, recruited from Christian boys through the Devshirme system, became the backbone of the Ottoman military. They played a decisive role in the capture of Adrianople and subsequent battles in the Balkans. Their discipline, loyalty, and military skill made them an invaluable force for Murad I's conquest of Adrianople and beyond. The strategic and economic benefits of Adrianople's capture were not just limited to military advantages. The city's new role as a capital allowed for the creation of a stable, administrative system that could manage both European and Asian territories. Sultan Murad I's decision to shift the Ottoman capital to Adrianople laid the foundation for the empire's future growth, enabling it to expand further into Europe while maintaining a strong base of operations in Asia. The conquest of Adrianople marked a decisive chapter in the early history of the Ottoman Empire. By securing the city, Sultan Murad I transformed the Ottomans from a regional power to a global force. The city became not only a military and administrative center, but also a symbol of Ottoman resilience and ambition. The capture of Adrianople set the stage for a century of further Ottoman conquests and the eventual rise of the Ottoman Empire as one of the most powerful empires in the world. The conquest of Adrianople in 1361 did not merely mark a territorial victory for the Ottoman Empire. It also represented a profound shift in the empire's administrative, cultural, and military landscape. As the Ottomans solidified their grip on the Balkans, the decision to make Adrianople the second capital of the empire had far-reaching consequences that would influence both the empire's internal stability and its relationship with Europe. With Adrianople in their control, the Ottomans were now positioned at the heart of the Balkans, a strategically vital region that was key to further expansion into Europe. The city became a central hub for Ottoman administration, facilitating the efficient governance of territories both in Anatolia and Europe. From Adrianople, the Ottomans could now easily direct military campaigns across the Balkans and maintain control over vital trade routes linking Europe and Asia. Its geographic location on the edge of the Kizil's Thrace region, close to the Dardanelles Strait, allowed the Ottomans to better defend against potential naval threats while securing access to European territories. The capture of Adrianople also marked the beginning of a series of military campaigns in southeastern Europe that would ultimately result in the Ottoman domination of much of the Balkans. With the city secured, Murad I and his successors focused on extending Ottoman influence further into Serbia, Bulgaria, and the rest of the Balkans, employing a mix of military force, strategic alliances, and diplomatic negotiation. Adrianople, as the empire's new capital served as a springboard for these campaigns, helping the Ottomans expand their reach westward while maintaining a solid administrative base in the region. Adrianople's importance wasn't just military or strategic. It also became a cultural and religious symbol of Ottoman authority, with the Ottomans establishing Islamic institutions in the city, including mosques, madrasas, and Sufi lodges. Adrianople began to serve as a focal point for the spread of Ottoman culture and Islam in the Balkans. While the Ottomans maintained a policy of religious tolerance through the millet system, which allowed Christian and Jewish communities to govern their religious affairs, the expansion of Islamic culture was a key aspect of the Ottoman state-building process. Under Ottoman rule, Adrianople transformed into a thriving metropolis, which saw the construction of monumental mosques, public baths, markets, and palaces. The Selimi Mosque, which was built later in the 16th century, became one of the architectural marvels of the Ottoman period, symbolizing the religious and cultural richness that would permeate Ottoman-controlled cities throughout the empire. The city, once a Byzantine stronghold, was now at the center of Ottoman administrative, cultural, and religious life. Furthermore, the capture of Adrianople helped establish a precedent for Ottoman governance in newly conquered territories. The Ottomans, unlike their Byzantine predecessors, incorporated a more centralized system of governance. The decision to make Adrianople the capital allowed for more efficient management of the growing Ottoman territories. Through viziers, the highest-ranking officials in the Ottoman court, the empire's centralized bureaucracy was able to implement laws, collect taxes, and administer justice across the expanding empire. This centralization allowed for more stable governance, especially as the Ottomans ventured into new and diverse territories. The Ottomans also began integrating local elites into the imperial system, securing loyalty through a combination of military victories, religious tolerance, and political alliances. By absorbing local leaders and nobles into the Ottoman military hierarchy and administrative structure, Murad I and his successors ensured that the empire could maintain a strong and stable foothold in the region. As the 14th century progressed, Adrianople continued to serve as the cornerstone of Ottoman power in southeastern Europe. The city was not only an administrative capital, but a symbol of Ottoman resilience and military prowess. Murad I's decision to establish Adrianople as the second capital set the stage for future Ottoman conquests and helped secure the empire's position as one of the most powerful empires in the world. It would remain the Ottoman capital in Europe until the conquest of Constantinople in 1453, after which it continued to serve as an important provincial capital. In conclusion, the conquest of Adrianople was one of the defining moments in Ottoman history. By securing the city, Sultan Murad I not only secured a crucial base for military campaigns, but also established a center of governance and culture that would shape the future of the Ottoman Empire. Adrianople's strategic location, cultural significance, and political role made it a vital part of the Ottoman Empire's expansion, and its capture marked the beginning of an era of Ottoman dominance in southeastern Europe that would last for centuries.